Hey folks, it's time for entrepreneurial rant number 2, being visible. Look, if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur in whatever you're doing, you're going to have to be visible in one way or the other. I'm going to focus this conversation on being visible as an online entrepreneur rather than being visible as a brick and mortar, a local business in your town. But either way, you have to be visible no matter what it is you're doing. But in the case of an online entrepreneur, I mean, you have to be visible to the community online. You need to have, at a minimum, first of all, and I think it goes without having to be said, a website, okay? In this day and age, if you have a business and you don't have a website, then you're just spinning your wheels. I mean, it's even laughable how 1970s that is, okay? And quite honestly, you should have, I mean, when you think of a name for your brand and you're going to put any effort, even $5 behind the brand, if you don't buy the website right off the top, it's just absolutely the craziest thing I think I've ever dealt with. And I have dealt with it. I mean, I know plenty of people who create great names and don't buy the web domain. And it just doesn't occur to them, or they don't think they need it, or they, it's just crazy, okay? Because there's poachers out there. They snag these things, right? And then they hold them for ransom, or they don't sell them to you, or whatever. And they make your life miserable because you know that you should have bought it, right? It's what, $15 a year? Buy the fucking domain name, okay? But you need to have a presence on the internet, at a minimum, a website. That's just not good enough for most people anymore. Unless you've got something really unique and you're just going to be able to offer something that nobody else is offering and people are going to find you organically, by word of mouth. And actually I have a business that's like that, where I have no online presence for my businesses except for a website. And by virtue of what I do, people find me, and it's great. I probably should have an online presence for that business, and it would probably pay off in dividends. And actually I'm working on a plan for that right now. Okay, so we've got the website off the table. What else do you need in your plan to be visible? You need social media, okay? Social media has kind of 2 main components, maybe 3. Textual, the way I see it, it breaks down into textual, which is kind of like Twitter. Twitter, people expect to see text and links. The Twitter feed or the Twitter entries that tend to do the best, though, have pictures or video attached to them. But that's the minority of the information on Twitter. Most of it is comments and at somebody or something and pound signs and, various information like that. So it tends to be more textual. It seems like. And then there's photographic, which is, of course, Twitter. It does include Twitter. Instagram, Facebook, and then video, which is all 3 again. Twitter has video capabilities, which is Periscope. Instagram has video capabilities, and Facebook has video capabilities. YouTube is video, and YouTube's trying to get more into other stuff as well and build it into a community more than it already is. But you need to be visible, and you need to decide what can you take on to promote your business and market yourself and market your business and make connections with people so that you can make the sale and have a reputation in the community for being one of the leaders in what you're doing. So you've got to have this presence. And I try to do it all. I still do Twitter, even though some people I've talked to, particularly some A-listers who I follow and who I even know and I've talked to personally, they shit all over Twitter. They say it's dead. It's going away. Don't bother with Twitter. Don't bother with Periscope. Look, there's some other A-listers that say that Twitter, still has potential, depending on how it fleshes out. They've been trying to sell it and move it on, but it's got an amazing user base. It's got, there's certain features about Twitter that are part of our culture now. And excuse me, I have to set off this timer. Sorry about that. I turned the phone off, but I guess it doesn't turn the timer off. Twitter is still in the game. It's not over for Twitter yet. So I still do Twitter and Periscope. I do Facebook Live. I'm starting to do Facebook Live. I'm going to try to do it on a daily basis because I think Facebook is really where it's at in the future. I mean, that's where everyone is. But it's not the only place. YouTube is also where it's at. And I've been neglecting YouTube for the last year. And right now I'm in the midst of a YouTube channel challenge that I started for myself where several days ago I decided I'm going to do a YouTube video with a valuable discussion of some sort every day through the end of 2016, which is going to be roughly 57 or 60 days, whatever it comes out to. And I may continue on after that, depending on the response that I get. But I've decided that I really need to push on a YouTube presence. Facebook Live, Periscope, they're all good. Snapchat, I think, is fabulous. It's not quite live video. Neither is YouTube. YouTube's not live. I mean, I know there's a live video function to YouTube, but it's not what it needs to be. Snapchat is not live video, but it's just seconds after live. And for Snapchat to stay competitive, they're probably going to have a live element here real soon. And I'm excited about that, quite honestly, because I've worked really hard on my Snapchat channel, and I probably have anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 followers, and my daily viewership is nowhere even near that. In fact, some days I still don't even break 100 on stories. So, but I have routinely had between 200 and 300. I don't know if I've ever crested 300 viewers on any one snap, but I've come close. And I've come close without manipulating my stories in order to get those higher numbers. But if there's a live component, I've got a huge following right now that is, going to give me a shot at the live stuff. So I'm excited about that. And I'm sure that's coming any day now. Maybe it'll be a Christmas present from Snapchat, or Snap as they're now called. But if you're an entrepreneur, you need to be looking at these things, and you can't be scared of getting out there and doing it. You can't think, my hair's not right, or, I like me right now, I look like I'm going to go to the gym. I've got a ball cap and a Nike shirt, and you know what? I just don't give a damn. Okay. Because this is how I work each day. And that's how I want people to know me. I'm selling the dream in a sense. I coach people on helping them stay out of a 9-to-5 job where they have to put on a monkey suit and show up to some asshole that's going to bark orders at them and yank their chain and treat them like they're, treat them like they're teammates all year long until it's time for a review. And then all of a sudden they suck and they didn't do good enough and the raise isn't going to be there and no extra vacation this time around. Sorry, bud. And they know that they can do that to you. And that's the dream I'm selling, is to get the fuck out of that and live a life where you're in control. I mean, I'm sitting in a condo that I lived in 10 years ago that's been a rental and has had families live in it since I moved out of it with my wife and kids. And I vacated it and turned it into an office space. It's down the street from my house. Okay. And instead of renting an office space somewhere else in town and setting up an office, I just rent this condo to myself. One of my companies pays for this condo. I have a warehouse in the 2-car garage, and most of this house it's a condo. It's 1,700 square foot condo. It's empty, right? The dining room is empty. The living room is empty. The bedrooms are empty. The only thing that I'm using is the loft, which I'm sitting in right now. And the 2-car garage is just full of inventory for one of my businesses. And you know why I get to do that? Because I'm not off working at some terrible job, getting nowhere and just spinning my wheels and living for the day, paycheck to paycheck. Does that mean I'm not paycheck to paycheck still? No, I still struggle just like everyone else. I'm not a multimillionaire. But, that's the dream, is to have control of your free time. I'm going to get on a treadmill here in a few minutes, right? And I'm able to do this because I have an online presence. I'm able to do this because I roll the dice on myself. I've gotten online. I started many years ago in 1998. I got on eBay, made tons of money on eBay through the years when eBay was still good. eBay sucks now. I hate it. That's a discussion for another day. I did some on Amazon as well. I got into manufacturing my own stuff. I've done videos, I've created informational products, I've written books. I've done all sorts of stuff, and I'm not trying to toot my horn. What I'm saying is that I've made an effort every day for years and years. I've made an effort to get online and do the best that I can do. And just over the last year, I'm actually putting my face and talking to people and making videos. Actually, it was probably over a year ago for one of my businesses. I started putting videos on YouTube for that business, and those videos changed everything. Okay. I probably should do a lot more for that business. And actually, as I said earlier in this broadcast, there are plans to do that, but you just got to be out there. You got to be visible. You got to do what's comfortable. You've got to do what works. You'll see results. If you get out there and start doing things, you're going to see results. You're going to see what works and what doesn't. And I'll give you some tips on that. For me, in my experience, Snapchat works, okay? Snapchat works. I get tons of feedback on Snapchat. I get tons of viewership. It's quick. It's easy. I can get in and out and create content real fast. And it's beautiful. And I can get on with my day and I can create content wherever I am on the planet. And it's awesome, okay? And I have great results. Periscope, I have terrible results, okay, right now. I have terrible results. But I'm doing it every day because I think that by doing it every day, it'll start very slowly growing and growing and growing. Same thing with Facebook. I have terrible results with Facebook. I know some people report great results with Facebook. I just don't have great results with Facebook right now, but I'm doing it anyway. YouTube, same thing. I mean, I've actually had pretty good results with YouTube considering the content that I have on there. I don't even think I'm in double-digit subscribers yet. I haven't looked today to see if I've crested 10, but some of the videos that I've done have had keywords in them that have brought people to my channel and they've checked it out. And so that's been good. So, and then one more thing, there's another thing online that you could be doing and considering is podcasting. That's something I just recently got into. I took Cliff Ravenscraft's podcast A to Z course. If you haven't watched my other videos, I talk about that in my other videos. And I've got all this podcasting equipment and I'm broadcasting and I'm interviewing people. I've got an interview scheduled for today that I'm very excited about. I've got an interview scheduled for Friday and I've got another one, that I haven't nailed down the date of the interview yet, but it's coming. And, I think it's going to be a great platform for my business. And I think it would be a great platform no matter what business you're doing. A podcast will make sense for you. There's going to be listeners out there who are interested in what you have to say and what you are offering. So you need to have a plan. You need to look at these things seriously and have a plan. What's going to work for you? What kind of time can you put into it on a daily basis? What kind of money do you want to spend on equipment? What is your ability to keep up the fight when no one's watching and to continue to broadcast? I mean, I'm in that right now with several of my platforms where I broadcast and no one's watching. You've got to be able to continue to do that. You know why? Because the world is filled with people who quit, who were like, okay, I've done 2 months of Periscope. No one's showing up. Fuck it. I'm done. Okay. The world's full of that. Okay. The people that get the crowds on Periscope are the ones that are like, you know what, 2 months, I don't give a damn. I'm winning this thing and I'm going to continue it up and I'm going to mix it up and I'm going to try other things to see what works and what doesn't. Maybe I'll Periscope from a restaurant while I'm eating a hamburger, and I've done that. Okay. I did a Periscope once with Todd. I think maybe it was Facebook Live. No, it was Periscope. And I ate a hamburger on Periscope. Okay. And talked to whoever showed up and it was great. And people liked it. I actually need to do that more often, but I mix it up and I got, that got some attention where an entrepreneurial rant doesn't necessarily get attention. So you've got to play with it. You've got to be visible. It all comes down to being visible. What are you going to do to get out there and be visible? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And the other question is, what are you doing to stay productive? That's kind of what I am doing on a daily basis. Every minute counts. You got to stay productive. You've got to put a foot forward and get something done. Be visible, my friends, tomorrow. And there's 3 V's, actually. Let me give you a little background on this. I did a podcast interview with Marley Williams the other day, a friend of mine who I met at World Domination Summit. And she met somebody who influenced her, had 3 V's. The first one, well, I don't remember what order they were in, but one of them was be visible. That's what we're talking about today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about another of the V's. And then on Thursday, we'll talk about the final one. And then Friday, I don't know what I'll talk about. We'll figure it out by then. Listen, my friends, stay productive. Thanks for tuning in.